Heartopia went for really odd monetization choices when it comes to a gacha game, by which I mean they have decided to make the gacha element of their own gacha game so highly unaffordable that I am not entirely sure how they're planning to actually make a profit from the gacha side of the gacha things. Don't get me wrong, there's still quite a few things that are worth getting inside the game, like the £2 monthly. Make sure that everything that you sell to vendors goes for 10% extra price effectively and makes your bus travel entirely free, so it's kind of convenient. Their new £4 battle pass, which is fairly cheap by the way, has a lot of permanent building materials, so it's a good way of getting things like fences and plants and being able to build with that if you're into that for a relatively small price. Their heart store will normally have things priced fairly affordably, I would say, but the gacha element of the gacha game is incredibly out there, and the only way to get permanent gacha currency, we're gonna come back to that, is by buying it directly or by buying a monthly or a battle pass. With a monthly or battle pass, you're gonna get such a tiny amount of gacha currency that I calculated that for one big gacha banner, because they tend to run several at once. They tend to run more expensive gacha banners and then they tend to run cheaper gacha banners. But for the more expensive gacha banner, it would take you, if you're just getting the monthly, 31 months to save up for the full banner. Free to play players pull like 4 times a year for a 5-star inside Infinity Nikki, and I'm pretty sure that Genshin's free to play players pull like 3 times a year, maybe kind of similar-ish for a 5-star. 31 months if you're paying. Yeah, that kind of shows you the problem with the gacha aspect of the gacha. And there are posts like this all the time, which is why this post is downvoted. Why is no one questioning the gacha? I play about 4 gacha games, including this one, the 3 Hoyo games, and then Wuwa. In all those games, they have a pity system and it can be quite expensive, as does Heartopia, but the difference is that you earn limited currency just by playing the game, exploring, logging in, and etc. Heartopia doesn't have that. Why is nobody questioning it or complaining? It can cost up to $600 to get both the furniture set, $400, and the outfit, $250 on average, which is absolutely nutty. I spend in games I play probably way too much to be considered reasonable, but it just feels a bit intense. In this game, nearly $1,000 if your luck is average is quite ridiculous in my eyes, and I really think people should be speaking up about this. Yeah, and then, by the way, there is a top-up event running in Heartopia. You want to know? This is permanent top-up event, so it kind of alleviates the pressure a little bit, but you want to know how far it goes? $1,500. That's how high the top-up event goes. Oh, but free-to-play players can get some gacha currency because it got mailed out to me and to everybody else. And then during the event that is currently on while I'm filming this, you also can earn some. It's time limited. Your passes expire to make sure that you can't save for the gacha, which is insanely expensive even on average luck, not accounting for max pity. And on top of it, that's like $1,500 deep. So you see, the problem is, this is about the 10 pull. The first 10 pull off a big banner guarantees an item, like a rare item, but after that, it's every 25 pulls that you get one rare item, so like it takes more pulls of time. If you get a 10 pull and you're forced to pull on a banner without saving it, that's not enough pulls to actually make people go, yeah, it's fine, I'm gonna just like spend the rest of the money. I'm gonna like spend $400 to get this banner. At the same time, if you have to spend $400 to get the banner from the get-go, who's doing that? Who's just like looking at a banner in game and going, oh yeah, this outfit is worth $400. Let me just like go out and buy it. You know how gachas tend to get you? They tend to get you because you're like, I have all of this free currency. I have all of this free currency and I only need so much to finish this. And then I can have this whole outfit. I only need to spend 30 pounds, maybe 40 pounds tops. And I can have this. You're not gonna get this in here. Hey look guys, I'm human colored again. My lighting was off. That lighting was better off when I was recording in the middle of the night. But now it's 10 a.m. and the lights in the room disagree with my green screen, even though I have the curtains drawn out, so I have to change light balancing in order to make sure that the green screen's getting removed properly. Anyway, yeah. Like, normally people spend because there's only so much that they need in order to get that banner, and it seems a lot more reasonable at that point. Of course, some whales exist in every game, but it's kind of unreasonable to depend on the whales in order to fund your gacha. Normally, you depend on a whole bunch of people spending a small amount of money, not like a couple of people dropping thousands a month. Therefore, such a way of approaching gacha is honestly like really confusing to me. I guess they're trying to use obfuscation because in the big gacha, the first pull gets you a wanted item faster. In the smaller gacha, every single like pull becomes more expensive, so like the first pull is like 3 tokens, but then it's 6, then it's 9, all the way up to 45. Blue Heart gacha is also the same way. The first pull is only 30 blue hearts, and then it goes all the way up to something like 490, I believe, for like the last item. So they're trying to use obfuscation. At one point, they also introduced the battle pass, and it was displaying inside the Chinese currency for everybody, and it kind of tricked Japanese people because they thought that it was a very, very cheap battle pass, but when they went to the payment processor, the price appeared different than what it is on screen. Everybody else was just all like, why is there Chinese currency in my game? But what I'm saying is that a lot of their practices, together with just like sending out people limited pulls, they're very scummy, very greedy, and the way that you would do in order to make sure that the person spends that money without thinking, or by thinking like, oh, I'm gonna start spending here because it's a good deal, and then that deal becomes less good over time. But the thing is, any new player is just gonna be caught in this once. It's not like they're gonna forget the experience and do it all over again. And I presume that you don't want like an insane player churn where players go, wow, you tricked me into spending money, I hate this game, and then they leave. After a while, there's no more players to churn, you know, so it's not like that strategy is a good strategy for a well-monetized game either, so I'm just really confused by Heartopia's monetization scheme from the people that I know that are playing it. a lot of people that really like it, the excuse given here is you don't need the gacha. It's not like you get stats with the gacha. It's not like we don't get a lot of free building materials and a lot of like free outfits. If a large percent of your population just says this is fine because we're entirely ignoring the gacha, it's not a wise business strategy. It's why I'm so confused that this game went for monetization that's like this, or that they think that it is a good practice. And the only other game that I know that tried to also make everything like uber expensive and impossible to earn for a free to play player was like Where Winds Meet. And Where Winds Meet, despite being very well received, I don't think that it's doing too well financially in the West because of the exact same issue of no one's just gonna like drop a couple £100 up front for a singular banner. That's not a sane thing to do. But you could get a whole bunch of people to drop like 20, £30 to complete a banner. But if all they have is like 10 limited time pulls that they're forced to spend on a banner that they don't like, or if all they have is nothing, then they're not just gonna buy that up front. Do you guys think that games with uber greedy monetization practices do better? Is that why this is being attempted? Like, is there like a country where all the whales reside and where like a lot of people will dump a lot of money on these kind of practices? Because from my point of view, this doesn't make any sense for a free-to-play multiplayer game. The goal shouldn't be to extract $400 per person, because the amount of people that can drop that much is fairly low. Set a goal of extracting $20 to $30 a month per person, and you're set. You're set for life, because a lot of people could drop that on entertainment. The fact that this is such a good game, but it just incentivizes you heavily to play free to play, it's just this strategy for a game financially completely does not compute for me, is what I'm trying to say. And I hope that over time they're gonna change that, even though I know that that is highly unlikely, because it's not like people are going out and protesting against this. They're just all like, oh yeah, in the game it makes sense to be entirely free to play. In my opinion, it makes sense to pick up the battle pass if you like the premium items and you want to use them for your builds. And it makes sense to pick up the monthly if you want better gold prices and better gold income inside the game. And that's where my spending on the game ends, which means that for me it's very, very cheap. But it also means that I'm never engaging in its gacha aspect because I'm not gonna afford it anyway, so like, why would I look there? And that's just so bizarre for a gacha game. Anyway, what do you guys think about Heartopia's monetization features? Are you fine with them? Do you think they need improvement? Did they chase you out of the game? Like, what's up? Share your opinions in the comment section down below. Thank you so, so much for watching. Thank you for my Patreon supporters. And toodaloo for now.